What's going on, NBA draft fans? Your boy is back. It's the NBA draft dude. My name is Corey Tulaba, and I'm not joined today by my co-host Albert Garbage Time Gim, but I found a very good replacement for Albert on today's show. We have Marcus Sasser from the Houston Cougars with us. Marcus is a 22-year-old senior guard, will be 22 on draft night, measured in at around 6'3", at the combine last year with a 6'7" wingspan, played 31 minutes per game, 17 points per game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, 1.6 steals, shot 44% from the field, 38.4% from 3, 85% from the line on a career high 4.2 attempts. True shooting percentage of 60% back-to-back years, PER of 25, BPM of 12 this year. Marcus, what's going on, man? I appreciate you joining me.
Yes, sir. I'm doing good. Appreciate you for having me, man.
Yeah, we are real excited to chop it up with you today, man. You had a hell of a season. Have you officially declared for the NBA draft yet?
Not yet, but I am. It's kind of obvious, but nah, I haven't put it out yet.
All right, you haven't put it out, but you're on the show, on
Yeah,
NBA draft show, so I guess we could say it's out there now, right?
say that, yeah, for sure.
That's an exciting times, man. Congratulations. I mean, you had an amazing career, and you have an exciting future ahead of you. For anybody who isn't familiar with your game, how would you describe yourself to somebody who hasn't watched you play yet?
Great teammate. Just I can space the floor by shooting the ball. A pesky defender. I like playing defense. It kind of give me that energy going. And then just the all around team player. I really try not to worry about the big things. That's something that Coach Sampson really installed in us. You win by doing the little things good. So just being a little things guy, and then just playing real hard. When I'm on the court, just giving them all.
I couldn't agree more. The first thing that you said, talking about your shooting, and I mean, I definitely think that you got to start there. The NBA, the game right now, it's about spacing the floor. It's about shooting. And we're going to hop into a little bit of your film. I mean, not only can you space the floor, but, you have some legitimate range to you. So let's play this clip and just what is the process like building out, logo range? What's your routine to actually get to be consistently shooting the ball out that far?
Really just legs and then repetition. When I'm working out and practicing, I'm shooting shots from that deep. But in that in that moment right there, that's something that me and Jamal do a lot of times. He push it down the floor and kick it back. But it's funny because during that possession, we was going back and forth, back and forth. We skipped the media timeout, all that, so everybody was tired. And I just came behind him, and I just seen space, and I just used my legs and let it go.
Yeah, I mean, that is crazy distance. And at what point did you feel comfortable enough, like if you take a shot and you missed, like you weren't gonna end up on the bench during your college career?
I'll probably say my sophomore year. My sophomore year, that's when I became, defined as a real good shooter on the team. Coach kind of gave me that green light my sophomore year. So any shot that I took, if it was a good shot, I was gonna take it. And they used to yell at me and fuss at me for not taking the shot. I'll probably get benched for not taking the shot rather than taking it. So
No, and you get them up. I think per 100 possessions, you were at like 14 threes per 100 possessions, which is like, that's like legit NBA volume. And, you don't just have that, like, let me pull up from the logo off like a DHO or a kick out. Like, you can get your shot off with your handle. I think that arguably you have the tightest handle in the whole draft. I mean, you turn the ball over 1.5 times a game for somebody who has the ball as much as you. That's like pretty phenomenal number. How did you develop your handle to the point where, I mean, it's basically an extension of your hand?
Just since I was a kid, really. I used to always just dribble around the house. And I always used to just have a ball with me. But I'd probably say when I came to college, my freshman year, that's when I really started to learn how important your handle is. Because, at first I just came in as a shooter, spot up shooter, but then that's kind of one dimensional. And, I
Mm.
needed to find a way to get my shot off. So that offseason, I just worked super hard on my handles and just learning different moves and stuff to create space with the dribble and then just finishing the shot. So I say when I got to college, I realized how important your handle was to create a shot.
Who's on your NBA handles Mount Rushmore?
Ooh, Kyrie at the top. Well, you
Mm,
said how many? Four?
4.
Kyrie,
Kyrie's a
Steph.
no-brainer.
Yeah, Kyrie,
Yeah.
Steph. Kyrie, Steph. Then I have to go Trae Young
Mm,
and probably CJ McCollum.
mm, I like that. That's a good one. CJ's underrated.
Yeah, definitely.
His handle's tight. Um, and I mean, like I said, you use that handle to get into your bag and create your own shot. And I think, watching your film, I think that it would be to say that your step back is not like a deadly go-to move that you have. That it feels like you can kind of get off whenever. And I mean, you got different, cadences, different pace, and when do you know that like you got your defender right where you want him and you can bust out that step back and get a clean look off?
Usually when his shoulders turn, like you can kind of tell on that play right there. When I went between my legs and was about to go hard left, as soon as he turned his shoulders, I just knew to step back, and that's
Mm,
kind of something I do. As soon as somebody get off balance, I just feel like if you step back and you square, it's impossible for them to really contest that shot where it affects your shot. So it's all a mental game when you're on the court. But that's one of the main things I look at when I'm about to do my step back is just if they body turns it. If I got to take one more dribble, then I will. But usually once I set them up with a counter or something like that, they body turn and the step back just be right there.
those counters, getting to read how the defender is guarding you, that's stuff that you see from a lot of high level NBA guards. And one of the guys that I look at him play and I look at you play, I see a little bit of similarities in how you get into your offense is Tyrese Maxey. Let me pull up this clip of you here just to see the similarities between the two. Is Tyrese Maxey somebody that you watch at all, that you kind of take little things from him?
Yeah, that's my guy. We kind of grew up in the same area, so yeah, I've been watching him like
Mm,
that, but when he got to the league, he just went to another level. But yeah, you can kind of say we play the same, just the way he create his shots. But he's athletic and fast too, so he can get downhill. But his separation, is
mm-hmm.
real similar to mine, especially around the arc.
Who else besides Tyrese do you watch in the league that you're like, ooh, that guy's tough? Like, let me see if I can add something, to my bag that I saw in whatever game I'm watching.
I watch a lot of Dame. I watch a lot of Steph. I
Mm,
try not to take too much Steph though, cause he just different. Um, I watch Trey.
mm,
I really watch a lot of guards.
yeah.
Around my size, just to see how they get their shot off and things like that. And another one, I watch is Fred Van Fleet. He real tough.
Mm, yeah. Fred is I mean, for somebody like, he's got to be under 6 feet,
Yeah,
and for him to be able to, get into the offense the way that he does, um,
right.
he's crazy, and he's a dog on defense too. Like he'll get into you for sure. Now, another in that you can use at the next level, these quick pitch actions where you know you said Tyrese is really good at getting a lot. Defenders will try to go under, and that way they can meet him. And when if you go
Yeah.
under, let that fly. And I thought last year at the combine, um, I thought you did a really good job in those actions, showing what happens when one guy goes under and what happens if they go over. When you see that much space, I mean, is there any hesitation at this point?
No, that's that. Well, what you call, the pitchback at Houston, we call them booms, and that's just like where you throw it to them and you read them. But I like playing behind the big, especially when you have range. It kind of give you
Mm-hmm.
a advantage because you really can't just jump over the big. So that's something I try to work on, especially try to get downhill, and I feel like it just kind of confused the defense because if they switch, then you got the big on you. Um, if they don't switch, then you got a shot. Like if he go under, but then if he go over the screen, then you just get downhill and play 2-on-1, and then just read the backside. So it's just I feel like it's almost really
Mm.
unstoppable. Especially if you had a right big on your team.
Now in the NBA, you handled the ball a lot. You played off, one of the best point guards in the country yourself. But in the NBA, you might be also playing off of LeBron James. You might be playing off of Luca. So not only can you get your own shot with the ball in your hands, but you could spot up and you could shoot it off movement, right? Like,
Yeah.
uh, this is, I love this shot. Tough, quick release. What kind of stuff do you do to work on that quick release where it feels like you're unbothered completely by the defense and running off movement? I mean, shoot, that's a
Yeah.
tough shot.
Um,
Knockdown.
there's repetition. That's the shot, I kind of work on just coming from the baseline. Kind of like a floppy set. We work on them, and
Mm,
then
yeah.
as far as quick releases, you rep them too. You do when you wide open, gotta knock it down, take your time, and then you do catch it up high, and then you do quick releases. So to me, it's really just repetition being in the gym. That's why I just feel like I'm comfortable, especially when it come to catch and shooting, because you should already have your feet set when you catch the ball, and that's what they taught me in Houston too. To catch the ball really off two. But on that one, you can see I want to it. But usually, I turn my whole body around to be square. But that shot really just come with repetition right there.
Take me through this shot here, in this possession. Um, you know, I mean, you were a tough shot maker, no doubt about that, right? Does coach ever, kind of get on you these early shot clock off the bounce? Is there any time when you guys are watching film where it's just like sometimes let's pull it out?
Yeah, definitely. Usually I really just be reading the defense. I like playing in transition. That's kind of where I feel like I can
Mm.
get my easy buckets. So, but that's kind of the thing. How you got to be smart with it, know when to take the shot, time and score. And I feel like that's just gonna come with more experience. But he really don't say much to me, when I miss it, because if I shoot it again, next time it probably will go in, and he probably ain't gonna say nothing. But he do tell me sometimes, we could have got a better shot, could have got into something like that. But it's never him just yelling at me or things like that. And that just come with the freedom. Like I feel like at the next level, you ain't gonna have that freedom as soon as you get in. So I feel like that's just gonna help me as a player. Not just being able to take them wild shots like that.
You said that you like playing out in transition. A lot of teams, I mean, not only is NBA about spacing, but it's about pace now. And the Warriors, they like to play fast, right? They like to space the floor. And a guy, he's got another guy really shoot the ball off bounce, shoot off the catch, shoot it off movement, and he's got a quick trigger. So I like this.
Yeah.
Gets to his spot, no hesitation, splash.
So
You got that in your game?
yeah, definitely. Love playing the transition. It's just I don't know. It's just something about it. It's like the defense always on their heels. You know, you going forward, they going back. I just feel like it's real hard to stop you in transition, especially like you seen that right there.
Yeah, you definitely have that. Almost the same thing, same spot in
Right.
transition, right off a little quick pitch, and
Yeah.
you let it fly. I mean, I think that when you watched your team this year, you guys were just so athletic that getting out, turning defense into offense. It felt like when you guys could get easy buckets like this, easy shots like this, it felt like
Yeah.
teams were really at your mercy playing fast.
I just feel like it's better because most of the time in transition, you gonna have an advantage, even if it's like 5-on-4. And that's kind of why I like defense a lot. That's why I feel
Mm-hmm.
like defense always going. Like I get a steal here, 3-on-1 fast break, we're gonna score off of that. So it's just easier to me to play in transition than it is when everybody's set up, help playing the passing lanes and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to put up a transition bucket here, shifting away from your shooting for a little bit. I want you to. I was at this game, and I have a story for you after. Take me through this. This is one of the smoothest Euro steps you're gonna find around. Take this.
Um, it was really crazy. I got the steal, and I was finna just go try to lay it up with my left hand, but then I looked back and I seen he was finna try to block it. So when I took the first step, I just tried the Euro to the other side, and it's crazy. I tried the Euro fast, but like he came under me so slow, I kind of just had to stay in the air for a minute, and then I finally got to the other side. Then I just laid it up. But when I seen it after the game, it was crazy. I was like, dang.
And when I saw that, you know, I I'm at this game as an impartial judge, right? Like I'm not, rooting for the home team, and I'm surrounded by people who are rooting for Temple there. And there was this old dude behind me, and after you finished that, he just went off like it's a travel. They don't teach the fundamentals anymore. And
Everybody says,
man, I was, I was, I was dying because that's skill, man. Like,
yeah,
and that's something that, with that it's not like you don't have that in your bag other than that one play. Like, you bust that Euro step a lot, and this is kind of similar. It's not as accentuated as the one in transition, but you have that like change of speed, you kind of glide in the air, and you really create space off of it. I mean, how
right,
much how
yeah.
much work do you do in this little in between area to try to counter how bigs can guard you?
It's really just it's a quick decision, really. Like that, I was gonna just float it off my off my right leg, but he just was so close to me that I had to, take. That's kind of the thing I try to do a lot. I just use that first step just really to read my defender, and just always knowing I got that second step in the back of my head, and you can go anywhere with it. So
Mm.
that's why that off leg finishing. Once I found out about that, and people started using that, the quick one leg, I just felt like it could just expand your game way more. And that's really what that just came from. And then I just tried to glide right back to the middle and just float it right over the top.
I like I like this one right here. Uh, you get into your footer again because to get to your spot, you like throw the ball ahead a little bit and you meet it A couple of out.
On this particular play, I just felt like he got over the screen just a little bit. So if I threw it out in front of me, and there wasn't nobody in front of me, so if I threw it out far
Mm-hmm.
enough and go get it, I can catch up in time. But that's just I got that from like CP3 and Ja Morant. You know, if you watch them when they come off pick and rolls, they'll go throw it and just rise up, pull up, or get into the floater. So that's just film and work, really.
That's a tough bucket. Now, do you ever think that sometimes maybe uh you settle for your floater a little bit too much, like maybe you could get to the paint or maybe even kind of make a play for your teammate. Like if you could get this one back, is there anything else, you see that you might do instead?
Yeah, I would have definitely probably played off two. I kept my dribble and tried to create a play. When I got downhill, I just felt like the big was so far back, and then the floater was just gonna be there. But if I kept my dribble, I
Mhm.
probably could have probed it, then either made the right play, or I probably would have had a floater myself off 2 feet instead of that 1 foot floater going left.
I think you even like I think you could use Jamal like on that weak side hit too. He's kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
out to the but and I want to get into um your playmaking a little bit right now too, because I think that you shared the ball handling duties. So
right.
you didn't necessarily always have the ball in your hands, the high usage to kind of rack up like those gaudy assist numbers, but
Yeah,
when you did have the opportunity to kind of come off a ball screen or attack a closeout, that you did a really good job of finding your teammates. And especially because, to be honest, the paint was pretty packed out. You guys played with two non-shooters for the most part,
yeah.
and you're probably the best shooter on the team, right? But you definitely trusted your in paint here. I mean, look at that defense that you collapse. Um,
Yeah.
make the great. Uh, when you collapse the defense, how like aware are you of where your guys are at on the court?
I usually always know, without even looking, it's gonna be somebody in the corner. Um, if you can see the strong side corner, but usually I always know it's gonna be somebody in the weak side corner too. And then just depending on what set we running, I know where they at.
Mm-hmm.
But on particular play, just being aggressive, getting downhill, and then I just seen them at the corner of my eye, and I tried to give it to him right on target. But that just came with a lot of experience, really. Just learning when to make the right play and then making it at the right time.
How much do you think like the extra space on an NBA floor is going to help your game? Because you get
Yeah,
into the paint even when it's crowded on a college floor. How much do you think that
right.
extra?
I just think it'll help a lot. People can't help as much, and if they do help, you can just zip it right to whoever they helping off of, and that's like I said when I went to the combine. The game it wasn't easier because of the competition, but as in just making reads and having space to operate, that part was easier for sure. So
Yeah.
I think at the next level, even though you got people that's taller, more athletic, stronger, IQ higher, I think the space on the floor still makes it hard, like for anybody to defend. Really, a lot of teams they playing against you and things like that, and just making the right play is always, that's always first priority in my head. When I catch it, if I got an open shot, but if I see a shooter in the corner and somebody closing out, I'm not gonna shoot it. I always make the extra pass, and that's just, I think that's just my way of playing basketball. Really, it's just a habit. I don't even be thinking about it really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean that's how NBA teams want to play. They want to play like point
Yeah,
five basketball where you can make quick decisions. If NBA teams want to turn good shots into great shots, so
all right.
if you got a 45% shooter in the corner that you might be playing with, and he's open, you got to make that pass. And you absolutely do that time and again. That's why throughout your career, you've won so much. You've had these deep tournament runs. Um, do you think that, you know, you've had to sacrifice your game at all, and your teammates have had to sacrifice their games at all in order to like find that kind of team success?
Yeah, definitely. Just especially when you're on a talented team like this, or even
Mm-hmm.
my, just having so much talent on one team, everybody got to sacrifice something. And it's just it kind of make the game easier too when everybody's sacrificing. Like this year, I feel like all five of us on the court could pass the ball. So when we was all, making the right plays and hitting the roller and hitting the extra pass, the game was kind of easier. Everybody was getting open shots, and I feel like it was just hard to guard, especially when you got five guys that can pass and willing to pass. So it's fun playing with people that want to pass.
You had a guy on your team, Jarace Walker, who freshman, and he played a major role. What was it like playing with him?
It was fun just seeing him develop. First couple of games, first 5 games, you can just see he was gonna be real good for us. He was real athletic and his IQ was crazy. He was a freshman, but his IQ, he felt like he been out there with us, for a minute. And he just real talented and skilled. So
Mm-hmm.
it was real to play with him, honestly. And like I said, the way he thinks the game is it's crazy. It's like I really never seen nothing like it, especially at his age. He just like he's a four, or he's not even a four. He like a big guard, and in my
Yeah.
eyes, he's like a big and that can pass. So it just made the game easier, and then just seeing him develop day by day, and just seeing his hard work pay off. It was fun playing with him for sure.
Yeah, you guys would run like an inverted pick and roll sometimes, or like pick and pop, where he would initiate and you would pop, and that's tough to defend. I've heard from people from like behind the scenes that like he didn't even get to show off his whole bag, but like if you came to a practice, he would do some stuff that is really going to
Yeah,
pop at the next level.
yeah, he can dribble. He can dribble good. He that's what I'm saying. When we play 1-on-ones, it's if it ain't your day, walk go in. Like he real hard to guard. He legitimate 6'8" and 2 something. He a man child for real. So
Yeah.
real skilled. That's why it's so hard to guard him. It's like he 6'8" with handles, can shoot. Then if you put 4 other people out there with him, he gonna make all of them better. So yeah, he one of
Yeah.
a kind.
Yeah. You guys were a lot of fun to watch for sure this year. I want to break down a little bit of your defense because you mentioned earlier, like that's a big part of your game. And I don't think that, maybe you could argue Jay Clark, but I don't think there's anybody else better in basketball at playing the passing lanes and patient you have on these like pick sixes is
Yeah.
crazy. So because if you watch your feet, you're already out before the guard even makes the pass. So what are you reading here
Yeah.
that um that you're gonna have a layup or a dunk?
I really just read that big. If the big pops, I know that's probably like the guard's first option. He gonna throw it back. And Jamal right there, he had great back pressure on it. So I knew the ball wasn't just gonna be a laser to him. So I just kind of hesitated for a little bit, and then once I seen him finna throw it, I just took off. And that's just some come with experience, really, just playing, and then just liking, the fact of playing defense. I like playing defense, no matter if it's on the ball, off the ball. I just like generating turnovers. So that's just something I do a lot, especially on the side pick and rolls. I love side pick and rolls when the big
Mm.
pops and I'm on the side. I just feel like that's a steal every time.
And one of the things you do is your chest. Um,
All right.
I mean, what kind of stuff do you do every day competing against each other defensively to, you know, string together like this?
We do a lot of drills on defense. You know, when we first start the season or the year off, our first couple practices is really just teaching our defense, teaching the fundamentals of our defense. And Jamal, he probably the best defender, on ball defender in my eyes in college. So just
Mm.
knowing him and me, or me and him on the same backcourt, you know, it kind of just give us confidence. You know, it was one point of the year where we was counting each other's steals. Like, I got one more steal than you, he got one more steal than me, but we was always like, it was always a one or two difference. So it's kind of just fun just to compete with him. You know, especially when you got another guard that likes playing defense, likes to get steals, and just like locking people up. You know, that's kind of what we talk about that too. Like, it's crazy. Like, we just talk about locking people up. We watch defensive highlights together, and we just try to use it in the game.
You see the trust too, like from when are playing in those passing lanes. I think you could only really do that if you know that you got somebody, behind you that if you miss, they're going to be able
Yeah,
to cover your back, right? And that was something that you guys did all year long, even when the offense bogged down, you guys were able to get it done defensively. This one, on a tough guard. Um, what's it like defending these quick, shifty guards who get their own shot, out on an island like that?
on that one, I was just really just trying to take away his strong hand. So you can kind of see he got me a little bit. Really just I just really like trying to force people to play not to their weakness, but basically just taking away their best strength. And you know, I feel like if your dominant hand is your right hand, and you know we go through scout report and things like that. If I pick up a tendency that you like to go right a lot, that's probably what I'm gonna try to cut off. You know, especially in the ISO like that. And I live with a contested 3-pointer like that.
What about this one? This is Caleb Battle, tough, tough shot
He was
maker.
tough.
What are you trying to force him into?
Yeah, just really trying to make him uncomfortable, really, because he's like you said, he's a tough shot maker, especially behind the 3-point line. So in that situation, you know, like I said, I live with him going to the goal, and as you can tell, he was going to his left also. So that was another dude I was trying to take away
Mm.
his right hand, and really just not let him rise up, and just have a clear shot to the goal. So that was good defense in my eyes, and like I said, he's a tough shot maker though. You said you was at that game, right?
He is. Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
was
He went
making a
off
lot.
in the first half.
Yeah, so I was living with that.
But you guys held him down in the second half though. He was,
Yeah,
those shots weren't going in quite as often. I mean, and that's what you're trying to make guys do, right? Like if guys are going to hit tough shots, sometimes they're just going to hit tough shots. I mean,
yeah,
you're a tough shot maker too, right? Like uh, sometimes guys play good defense and it's just better offense, but eventually, that defense is going to wear on you because it doesn't just come from you. You guys play total team defense, and that
yeah.
that means that you guys are rotating, um, and you're in the right spots. And right here, I mean, there's a good rotation here. How important is that low man rotation to your team defense?
That's the most, we call that the MIG. Really, it's like most important guy. You want to basically just show bodies, especially with certain defenders. I mean, certain
Mm.
offensive players, bodies, and especially like that's kind of what we put a tip our hat on is no easy buckets. Try if they're gonna beat us, try to make them beat us behind the 3-point line, because it's real easy to make twos. So when the ball gets to the paint,
Hmm.
everybody try and really just make the shot as difficult as possible. I mean, as hard as possible.
Yeah, and that was a great rotation, and you made the defender think. And you're going in scenario like that's kind of a big man catching on the roll, and you force him into a miss at the rim just from meeting him at the spot and making him uncomfortable. And I've seen not only, do you force guys into tough shots, I've seen you make that rotation, you force a charge. And, this is a little bit different here, but you are to take a charge and give up your body and get some floor burn. These kind of winning plays. I mean, have you always been like this where you just like brace the physicality and just take it in the chest?
Um, I it just depends on who I'm guarding. If he a big man like that, I know he gonna run into me out of control. I'm gonna go ahead and brace it and take the contact. But if it's like a guard or something like that, I might just try to go for the steal or something like that. But especially in that situation, I really had no choice because like you said, I play defense with my chest a little bit. So as soon as he ran into my chest, I just fell back.
How many positions do you think you can guard at the next level?
1 through 3 for sure.
Mm. That 6'7" wingspan, does that help?
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of my biggest. That's my biggest help. A lot of people don't probably realize it, but I got big, I got long arms, so that really helps me when I'm on the defensive end. And then just being tough. You just being tough really helps a lot.
When you're on the court, like I said, it feels like your whole team is mean. You walk around like you could sense the confidence in you. You guys look locked in. You talk any shit on the court?
If they talk to me, I say something back, but usually I try to let my game talk. I really don't go out there and say much. I might say a little something to the crowd or something like that, but direct towards a person, to opponent. But if you say something to me, then yeah, I'm gonna start talking the whole game.
I
And
love
then me,
that.
yeah.
Is there anybody at the next level that's in the NBA now that you're looking forward to guarding?
Looking forward. I want to guard Steph just to see, how hard it is to guard him, because yeah, he unstoppable. Look like so.
You gotta
I
find out
want to guard.
yourself, right?
Yeah,
I like that answer because I've asked this question before, and sometimes players are like, I don't want to make any lists. I'm just looking forward to guarding whoever. I like you went for the top dog.
yeah. It's just I always see him killing everybody. So I just want to see what it's like.
I love it. I love it. Look, so normally the way that we end these shows is we do a little segment called "Sell Me This Pen," where me and my co-host, I ask him, and he gives like a 30-second pitch for a prospect. So I'm gonna let you do it. So if you were, talking to an NBA team, how would you sell them on Marcus Sasser, the prospect?
Real tough, a winner. Real competitive. He a good person on and off the court. He don't have problems like that. A hard worker, and then really just all for the team. That's kind of what's the main thing, really, just winning and being for the team. I feel like, and then just being he a positive. For any team. You can put him on any team, and he can turn that negative or whatever to a positive. A good, like I said, floor spacer. Can handle the ball, can play the 1 or the 2, can play off the ball. A good defender, and then a high IQ.
Yeah, and a winner. You won a lot of games
Yes,
at the college level. Winning mentality. Man, Marcus, this was a ton of fun, man. I, learned a lot watching the film with you, breaking it down. I love getting to pick your brain. Um, good luck throughout the rest of the process, man. I know, these are going to be, it's going to be a grind the next few months, but, embrace it, enjoy it. And, I can't wait to see what happens with you, man. So I appreciate you coming here and chopping it up.
sir. Appreciate you.